page tayo.
Okay. Doon mo makikita yung mga comments and
Yes.
the number of views. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Never tried pa kasi. And then they can also watch ba sa YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Ay, hindi ko siya nakikita sa Bagsic na page. Sandali.
I'll just share it now.
Okay.
Yes.
Nakashare na ba?
Yan. Okay na, Bobby. Okay.
Meron ba?
So, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Ito po ulit si Attorney Jean Bagsic, and now we're on our episode 17 ng Usapang Batas. And for tonight's topic po, it's about insurance in New Zealand. Okay? So, and we're very fortunate tonight kasi sa gabing ito, I was able to invite si we're able to invite si one of ang ating financial advisors who's based in Auckland, New Zealand, and he's very active in the Filipino community as well, and very popular sa ating mga kababayan in terms of getting different insurance products here in New Zealand. Okay? So, I want to introduce tonight ang ating guest speaker, si Bobby Chua. Hi, Bobby. Good evening.
Hello, attorney. Good evening, and good evening po sa lahat na who are joining us for tonight. It will be a very informative night. So if you got pens and paper, get it ready kasi baka may mga makuha kayong mga detalye and information na pwede nyong gamitin.
Yes. And after yung discussion namin ni Bobby about insurance, I mean, feel free to write your questions dun sa YouTube live streaming. I can read all the questions there. At susubukan ni Bobby, of course, nasagutin yung mga tanong ninyo. Kasi siya ang ating resource person and expert about the topic, about insurance. And then, yun, for starters, Bobby, I mean, can you give us a background on how you started or how you started your life here in New Zealand? What was your first job, or when was it, or a brief background about yourself?
Sige. So yes, I was invited by my friend bisitahin daw si New Zealand. So dati sa Philippines, nurse po ako. And I've practiced nursing there for I think 3 years.
Mhm.
Um, and I've never dreamed of going out of Philippines eh. I've never even worked anything to go to America. Pero itong classmate ko, nauna siya sa New Zealand.
Mhm.
Sabi niya, Bobby, ang ganda dito. Punta ka. So, I don't know what happened, but that person, I trust that person kasi. So, sige, sige. So, I've started all the applications and then, yeah, then dumiretso ako from Philippines, diretso sa Hastings.
Mhm.
And then did my bridging course. So, 7 years na nag-nursing job ako dito in Auckland. And then nag-jump ako to insurance advisor about 2015.
Mhm.
And then from there, hindi na ako nagpa-practice ng nursing. Full-time na siyang insurance advisor.
Mahirap ba yung transition, Bobby, from becoming a registered nurse tapos bigla ka sumabak sa insurance business or pagiging financial advisor?
Oo. In a way, medyo nag-blend yung background ko in terms sa nursing at saka insurance. Kasi sa insurance, we deal with a lot of wordings. We deal with a lot of different medical conditions. So in a way, parang for me, and this is my opinion, medyo mas madali siya kasi mas naiintindihan ko yung point ng GP at saka yung position ng insurer
Mm.
on kung
Mhm.
kailan ba sila magbabayad and yung differences ng mga wordings. So I totally enjoyed it. Oo.
Okay. So pag nabasa mo yung mga sakit or what, of course, naintindihan mo yung mga being a registered
Mm-mm.
nurse, di ba? So
And
in the medical profession.
oo, and what's really I guess an eye opener sa akin kasi dati nung hindi pa ako sa insurance industry, I really thought lahat ng insurance pareho. Like kahit
Mhm.
saan ka pumunta, pareha lang 'yan. But when I started reading wordings, doon na ako parang talagang na-shock ako na meron pala mga insurer na ganito dinidefine yung mga sakit. Na
Mhm.
parang there's almost no way kang mabayaran because of the
Mhm.
advancement of the technology na meron na tayo.
Mhm.
So from there, parang it boosted me more to actually educate more people about focusing on the wordings and the benefits more than
Mhm.
anything else. Kasi yun lang talaga yung reason bakit magbabayad yung insurer. It's about the wordings.
Okay. Now, yun nga, you've entered yung pagiging financial advisor, you've entered the insurance industry. Paano ba makapasok sa pagiging financial advisor or insurance, Bobby, dito
Sige,
sa New Zealand?
so I guess you can start individually, but you gotta need to go through a lot of licensing. Lalo na ngayon na we're transitioning and madaming inaayos
Mhm.
sa the whole financial industry. So you gotta go through a lot of things if you wanna do it on your own. I guess the easiest way is reaching out to an existing business, insurance. So, our business, or you've got Tito Rex Yap of New Zealand Home Loans.
Mhm.
You've got Kuya Rex Alfaraz from Waikato, who's also owned his own business.
Mhm.
I guess it's easier for you um, to go to them and ask whether they're still open in terms of getting you on board. Because from there, you can work under their umbrella. Okay, you're gonna use their license. Mas madali siya compared na ikaw talaga magsimula on your own.
Okay.
Oo.
Parang similar din for lawyers, Bobby, kasi
Yeah.
you could not start up your own law firm if wala kang minimum 3 years experience. So parang yun nga, parang may
Mm.
mentoring
Yeah.
ang dating before you can start up your own. Similar
Oo.
din pala.
And
Okay.
yung mentorship is so crucial talaga.
Mm.
Kasi we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars na ini-insure ng mga
Mhm.
clients natin. And the last thing you want is just because you didn't know this and
Mhm.
maapektuhan yung claims nila. Yun yung oo. But
Okay.
mentorship is crucial. Yeah.
Okay. Now, going into detail about, of course, yung topic natin about insurance. Of course, can you give us a background why people need insurance in general? Bakit ba kailangan insurance?
Sige. So, yung insurance, I mean, even sa Philippines, meron naman tayong mga insurance, but I guess
Mhm.
it's not a lot of people na kumukuha ng insurance sa Philippines kasi nga there's a cost na
Mm.
nakakabit always sa insurance. But here in New Zealand, what you just need to understand at the beginning is regardless of your visa, whether work visa, resident, or citizen, you need to understand first ano ba yung benefits na makukuha ko sa New Zealand government kung wala akong insurance. So we have ACC and lahat tayo nagbabayad ng ACC levy. So ano ba si ACC? Na aksidente ka, hindi ka makapagtrabaho, ACC will pay you a compensation na 80%
Mhm.
minus tax every week. Okay? So yan yung makukuha mo kung na-aksidente ka. Okay?
Mm.
Merong ACC. So if you're earning maybe 4,000 a month, pag na-aksidente ka, na ACC ka, siguro roughly mga 2,000 after tax yung makukuha mo. So parang nawalan ka ng kalahati. But
Mhm.
may pumapasok pa rin kalahati. The problem is kapag hindi aksidente ang nangyari sa'yo, halos walang perang papasok sa'yo in terms of government benefits. There's what we call sickness benefit, pero it's about 220 per week
Mm.
ang sickness benefit. And kung may asawa ka and yung asawa mo is still working full-time, even though hindi ka na makapag-work, hindi pa rin kayo entitled because sickness benefit is income tested. So
Mm.
your partner needs to really be on a position na not only minimum wage, but very part-time. So medyo mahirap siya kapag sickness ang nangyari talaga. So diyan na pumapasok sa insurance. It covers that risk na ayaw mo mangyari sa iyo na maghirap kayo during those conditions na critical illness, nagsuffer ng stroke, hindi na
Mm.
makapag-work. That money injection can actually help you for for a period of time so that you can decide anong gagawin nyo once na after 3 years, after 5 years, ano na bang plano nyo? Lipat na ba ng Philippines or
Mm.
continue to stay here? But it's that money injection to give you time na mag-adjust for the time being na may nangyari sa inyo.
Okay. So, meron bang tayong mga iba't ibang klaseng insurance na available dito sa New Zealand?
Yes,
Pati?
so there's I guess we're gonna need to classify them para lang hindi masyadong malito. So, meron tayong tinatawag na fire and general insurance. So, fire
Mhm.
and general insurance, yan po yung car insurance, contents insurance, at saka house insurance. Okay?
Mm.
Kung nagrerenta po tayo, you don't have to worry about the house insurance. Sa landlord po yan.
Mhm.
Yung contents insurance, it's insuring yung mga gamit sa bahay. There are insurers na ika-cover nila yung mga gamit ninyo while traveling. Yung punta kayo ng snow, binasag, tinakaw yung GoPro ninyo. Some insurers actually pay for that under contents insurance. But contents is really sa loob ng bahay mainly, binasag or nasunog,
Mm.
laptop, lahat ng gamit ninyo. It also pays for temporary accommodation.
Okay.
While
Kasi very common dito, Bobby, ang burglary, 'di ba? And
yeah,
burglary, 'di naman papansinin ng pulis yan. I mean,
yeah.
just to put it bluntly, mag-report ka sa police pero,
Mm.
'di ba? 'Di naman na may babalik yung mga nawala sa if ever, 'di ba?
Hindi. And I mean, currently, I've looked at the police statistics. Just in the last 12 months, 270,000 crimes
Mm.
across New Zealand. Ang dami.
Mm.
But yeah, so burglary, so contents insurance, and yes, it's optional naman. If you want it, then you can get it.
Mm.
Okay, but that's what contents insurance is. And then you got car insurance, which is kapag nabangga or nakabangga ka, then sila yung magbabayad for the cost and the repair. Sa
Mhm.
car insurance, there's actually three types, pero technically dalawa lang siya eh. It's either comprehensive or third party.
Mhm.
So I think it's crucial and difference kasi masyadong mura yung third party, and then comprehensive, of course, you pay more. But yung third party po, para lang maintindihan nila, it's more of let's say sasakyan ko, nabangga ko si Attorney Jean,
Mm.
naka third party insurance, car insurance ako, yung insurer ko babayaran yung cost ng sasakyan ni Attorney Jean. Pero yung cost ng pagpa-repair ng sasakyan ko, ako na yung magbabayad personally out of my pocket.
Mm.
Oo. But definitely, murang-mura talaga siya. So for some people na gustong magtipid, at least get a third party talaga. Kasi what if nabangga mo, and this is so true, may nangyaring ganito eh. May nabangga silang, hindi man siya Lamborghini, pero Maserati.
Mm.
Paint lang yung natanggal, but it cost $20,000.
Ah,
And kung may third party ka, that's good. Pero kung wala kang third party insurance sa car, medyo,
babayaran mo out of your own pocket, no?
yeah, oo.
Mahal ang mga
Matagal,
panel beaters dito, Bobby, di ba?
matagal na installment.
Yeah.
Yun. But yeah, so yun yung first part po ng insurance. It's far in general. The second part ng insurance po sa New Zealand is personal risk insurance. So it's about you,
Mm.
tayo. Okay? So meron tayong life insurance. So life insurance, very simple lang. You pass away, so namatay ka, nag-iwan ka ng pera. Or sinabihan ka ng doktor na hindi ka na mabubuhay for more than 12 months, pwede mong makuha yung pera, a portion of it, kahit buhay ka pa, okay, because you were diagnosed as terminally ill.
Mm.
So yan yung life insurance. There's two ways na it can pay. The second part ng insurance, there's actually four main covers. So yung second part po, sa Philippines, tinatawag natin tong critical illness. Even the banks here in New Zealand, tinatawag din siyang critical illness. Pero yung mga top insurer po dito, ang tawag po nila ay trauma cover.
Mm.
Okay? So ang ibig sabihin lang po ng trauma cover is may nakalistang medical conditions. And of course, each insurer, iba't iba po silang number of conditions. But nakalista yung conditions. If na-diagnose sila ng any of those conditions na nakalista, they get paid as long as buhay sila after 14 days.
Mm.
Okay? So, it has nothing to do kung makapag-work ka or hindi. It's just based on na-diagnose ka, na-meet mo yung wordings, and then you get paid. Okay?
So
you,
bawat insurance company, Bobby, iba-iba ang list, no? Yung iba more comprehensive, yung iba very limited. Ganun ba?
yes. So, I'll give you
Iba
an
rin.
example. ANZ, they cover 12 medical conditions.
Mm.
And then if you go to like Partners Life Fidelity or AIA, they cover more than 50 medical
Ang dami.
conditions. So medyo malayo siya.
Mm.
Top of that, malayo ang wordings. And I'll just give one para hindi masyadong malito. Ano ba yung common? Stroke, major stroke. So, klaruhin ko lang, sa stroke po sa New Zealand, sa mga insurers, walang nagka-cover ng minor stroke. Lahat po ng nasa trauma cover ng mga different insurers is major stroke. Okay?
Mm.
So, sa bangko, sa ANZ, BNZ, nagka-major stroke ka, okay? But not only kailangan mong magka-major stroke, kailangan mo din ng isang kamay or isang paa na hindi mo magalaw for a continuous 90 days. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nagka-major stroke ka, and then may BNZ ka na critical illness, and then nag-claim ka, pero within 90 days, because nire-rehab naman namin yung mga nagkaka-stroke, kapag ka gumalaw lahat ng kamay mo at saka paa, you already lose the chance of getting paid. Meanwhile, kapag kung ang same scenario, nagka-major stroke ka, naggalaw mo yung kamay mo and paa mo, walang problema, medyo mahina lang but nagagalaw mo na siya within 90 days, if yung insurer nila nasa one of the top insurers, they get paid. Kasi yung definition ng stroke ng major insurers, they don't really ask for any paralysis or weakness. Yung sa kanila, as long as na-diagnose ka, nakita sa CT scan, that's it. You get paid. As long as buhay ka 14 days after kang na-diagnose.
Okay.
So it's so crucial kasi minsan para lang tayong nagsha-shopping ng insurance eh. When we look at insurance and comparing, sometimes medyo mababaw lang yung pag-compare natin but there's so much underneath sa mga wording. So yan po yung trauma cover. The third cover na um, yung mga Pilipino can consider dito is income protection.
Mm.
And this is a really good topic sa income protection kasi a lot of people think na income protection na wala ng trabaho sa because of COVID-19 na dapat magbayad yung income protection. But in reality, ginawa ang income protection para sa instances na hindi ka makapag-work kasi may sakit ka or na-aksidente ka.
Mm.
So technically, hindi kasali yung nawalan ka ng trabaho.
Mm.
Kasi that's part of redundancy cover.
Okay, iba.
Redundancy yun siya. So income protection is simply hindi ka makapag-work kasi maybe na-surgery ka, maybe na-aksidente ka. I even had clients na tinamaan ng bola, basketball sa ulo and probably 3 to 5 months sigurong hindi makapag-balance. So it affected the work.
Mm.
So part-time lang siyang nakapag-work because hindi talaga makapag-balance.
Mm.
So on that scenario, nabayaran sila partially. Oo.
Okay.
So yan yung income protection and madaming details sa income protection like hanggang kailan mo gustong mabayaran ng insurer, kailan mo ba gustong mag-antay before sila magsimulang magbayad. So yung presyo ng income protection, it varies a lot
Mm.
talaga. But yun yung purpose. Hindi ka makapag-work. Some income protection magbabayad on top pa ng ACC. Some income protection, mina-minus nila kung ano yung nakukuha mo sa ACC. So going back to yung pinag-usapan natin about work visas na may income protection, there are very limited insurer na makakapagbigay ng income protection for work visas. If meron man, yun yung type na kapag hindi ka makapag-work, they have to really ask you magkano nakukuha mo from ACC. And then they will weigh in kung they will pay you or not. Okay? So, yun yung sa work visa. So, yan yung pangatlong cover. And the last cover is simply medical cover. And this is where I'm very passionate kasi nga not only I've practiced here nursing for 7 years, but I've worked in one of the largest surgery center dito sa Auckland. And for 7 years, nakita ko talaga yung waiting list. Masyadong mahaba. There are even instances, attorney, where tinatawagan na lang kami kasi yung pasyenteng nakabook for surgery today, namatay na pala last week sa kakaantay. And those are the things na hindi mo makikita sa news, but nakikita namin. And that's the reason why I'm so passionate about medical cover. Kasi if you can afford it, I would say you should get it. Kasi it doesn't just help you, it also helps other people na hindi maka-afford ng medical insurance to get a treatment sooner. Parang nire-relieve mo yung pressure ng gobyerno by doing that. So, ano ba si medical cover? Si medical cover, eligible siya for 2 years visa and above. Okay, so 2 years na working visa and above, pwede kang kumuha ng medical insurance. What if less than 2 years yung visa mo? Meron pong alternative na travel insurance. Babayaran din po niya kapag kang na-hospital kayo, wala pong problema. But ibang product lang po talaga pag less than 2 years. Pero pag 2 years and above, kuha mo yung proper private medical insurance. And this is how it works. Kapag ka emergency or nagbi-bleeding ka or sobrang or nag-collapse ka, regardless kung may medical insurance ka or wala, you still have to go to public hospital, emergency department, kasi uunahin ka naman talaga. So the great thing about our public health system is hindi tinatanong anong visa status mo.
Gagamutin ka muna pag urgent.
Pagpasok mo ng hospital, kahit pa visitor visa ka, wala kang insurance, tinitreat ang mga pasyente based on symptoms. So kung gunshot wound or nasaksak ka or nagbi-bleeding ka, Kung diretso ka, kailangan kang idiretso sa operating room, ididiretso ka talaga. Okay? So, kailan ba pumapasok sa medical insurance? So, pumapasok sa medical insurance kapag hindi siya life-threatening. So, I'll give you an example of my claims last week. Merong isa na masakit yung tiyan and nagsusuka. Pumunta sa isang public hospital dito sa Auckland. Binlood test siya ng doktor. But because normal yung blood test niya, pinauwi lang siya with paracetamol. And that's the normal scenario ngayon kasi nga there's no reason for them to advance the investigation. Okay? So parang if symptoms persist, balik ka. So kung wala kang insurance, you just pray na sana wala lang 'yun. Okay? So sana wala lang at sana hindi na bumalik. Pero kung may medical insurance ka and nangyari sa iyo 'yun, pinauwi ka, even the same day or the following day, babalik lang kayo sa GP and sabihin niyo, Doc, ito nangyari sa akin kagabi, may medical insurance ako, can you refer me sa gastroenterologist? Can you refer me to ultrasound, CT scan? Pwede ba tayong magpa-gastroscopy para silipin kung anong nangyari? So, we can do a lot of things proactively to investigate the symptoms kung may medical insurance ka. And then, of course, sa operation ngayon, medyo mahaba yung waiting list. I would say 4 to 12 months yung waiting list. Depende sa organ na kailangan operahan. So if we're talking about bones, it could take about 12 months if you need a bone surgery. Last 3 months, may tumawag sa akin from Christchurch. She was waiting for endometriosis surgery, so pambabae na surgery, yung tissue ng matres kumalat sa ibang parts ng body, but she waited 12 months. Christchurch DHB.
Lalo na ngayon, Bobby, because of COVID, na-push pa lalo yung mga scheduling ng operations.
Oo. So there are yung mga nasa waiting list na tinanggal. Yung mga hindi masyadong feeling nila, hindi naman kailangan, a lot of them tinanggal. And then, yun nga, kung wala kang insurance, I mean, pwede ka pa rin naman magpa-opera privately, babayaran mo lang siya out of your pocket. Pero kung ayaw mo ng ganon, then your choice is medical insurance or totally wait for the public health system if that's your choice. But at the end of the day, it's a choice. Medical insurance is a choice.
And affordability, kasi medyo mahal din siya.
Oo. It costs around $1.50 a day. Roughly. That's for an adult. $1.50 a day. Sa bata, siguro 80 cents a day. Roughly. So, generally, mahal siya kung i-compare mo siya sa life insurance premium. Pero if you put it in a way na $1.50 a day, I would say very affordable tayo because of the existence of ACC. If wala tayong ACC sa New Zealand, expect na lahat ng insurance companies lolobo yung premium kasi even accidents sasaluin nila eh.
Okay. Now, gusto ko lang discuss natin, Bobby, kasi of course, being an immigration lawyer, I always get this issue, yung POLO requirement, OEC. And I think very medyo tied up yung topic na insurance sa OEC requirement di ba? So for purposes of discussion, Bobby, ano ba yung insurance na hinahanap ng POLO para ma-approve yung OEC sa atin?
Okay. So the purpose of OEC, ang hinahanap actually ng OEC na sa POLO is yung merong life cover na may repatriation. They also require actually a critical illness na cover so that you have enough money to also go back home. So ang talagang least requirement sa POLO is life and critical illness or trauma, yung dalawa.
Yung dalawa lang na yun.
Yung dalawa.
Life and trauma. Okay.
Life and trauma lang talagang kailangan. Now, Sa repatriation naman, I think a lot of people get confused. Even advisors, I guess, medyo hindi nila nakuha yung ano bang hinahanap ng polo. Ang hinahanap talaga ng polo is kasi there's two types of repatriation. Either ibabalik yung katawan mo pabalik sa New Zealand, or ibabalik yung katawan mo pabalik sa Philippines, which is your home country. Yung kailangan ng polo is yung repatriation wordings na ibabalik yung katawan mo to Philippines. Hindi
Katawan meaning, Bobby, patay ka na, bangkay, di ba?
Yes,
Yun.
yes. So you pass away, and then yung body mo ipapadala sa Philippines. So yun yung hinahanap. But for most of the insurers kasi dito sa New Zealand, baliktad kasi pabalik. We've actually pabalik siya. So namatay ka sa, let's say, Bali, nag holiday kayo, they will pay for the cost ng body pabalik dito, yung life insurer mo. But ang hinahanap ng polo kasi the purpose is to alleviate yung cost ng katawan na pagpadala. Ang gusto ng polo is, ang hinahanap talaga is repatriation ng katawan pabalik sa Philippines. Yeah.
Okay. Yun. Kasi yun, I mean, I know marami sa ating mga kababayan, especially OFW, siyempre, napakalaking deduction sa salary din yan eh, di ba? Yung ipapadalan sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
So maganda rin siguro na-clarify natin kung ano yung minimum requirements ng polo, di ba?
Yes.
Kasi pwedeng i-offer ng advisor kung sino man lahat ng products, pero kung tutuusin, siyempre madalas, kung di naman madalas, palagi na kumukuha ng insurance yung OFW para lang ma-satisfy yung requirement ng OEC, ng polo.
Yeah,
diba?
we actually have some, especially on the manual workers na pag lumalapit sila, some of them, they clarify their intention na, Bobby, ang gusto ko lang talaga para mapasa ko yung polo requirement sa OEC. Okay, so from there, we did just discuss life trauma, and then yung minimum lang. Of course, minimum ng cost ng pagpadala ng katawan. So for some of them, they don't even need 200,000, 300, 500,000.
Yung malalaki, naririnig ko eh.
What they have to realize talaga kapag kumukuha ng insurance is yung trabaho ng advisor, nag-guide lang kami. Yung decision in terms of magkano ika-cover mo sa sarili mo, it's your decision. Kasi kapag sinabi mo, ay okay, sige, 70,000 yung life cover ko, then you understand na hindi masyadong kalakihan yan, which means if you pass away, you know na medyo konti lang yung iniwan mo sa family mo. So it's all about understanding your insurance.
Okay. Sige. I think that's a very good point din na yun nga, alamin yung needs nung client nyo kung para saan ba insurance. Di ba?
Yes.
Okay. I think you also want to talk about yung very common din yung mga, of course, may nakausap ka unang broker or financial advisor, tapos gusto mo lumipat sa iba. So, ano yung tingin yung mga points na gusto mo i-discuss about? Of course, yung transferring from one provider to another, or even a broker from one broker to another.
Sige. So, and that's a really good topic kasi every now and then may kakatok po sa inyong pintuan, mag-o-offer ng review. Or maybe kumuha kayo ng personal loan and sinabi and this is very common sa OFW natin, attorney. Kumuha ng personal loan and the way in-explain ng bank person is parang hindi ka aaprubahan kung hindi ka kukuha ng insurance. Okay? And it happens so many times, but that's illegal. Para lang klaro. I posted about it long time ago. Pero illegal po na nag-personal loan kayo or nag-car loan, tapos ayaw kayong bigyan ng loan on the basis because hindi kayo kukuha ng insurance. That's illegal. Pwede po natin silang i-report. Kasi kung kukuha na ka ng personal loan, yung capability mo naman yung makakabayad ka ba ng inutang mo, yun lang naman talagang i-check. Wala namang kinalaman yung insurance. So that's one. But in terms of advisors, door knocking, or maybe offering to review your insurance, there's a couple of things na I want you to just understand. Number one, every time na lumilipat kayo ng insurance company, there's always risk.
Mhm.
And yung risk na yan is something that the advisor should actually discuss. So there's always risk. So ano ba yung mga risks? Number one, maybe from the time na kinuha mo yung current insurance mo, let's say last year, and then may nag-offers na mag-review sa'yo this year, so isang taon na, but during that 12 months time, you know, meron ka palang, 2 weeks na nagka-migraine ka, maybe sumakit yung chan mo for about 2 weeks, pero uninvestigated,
Mhm.
or maybe yung nanay mo nagka-diagnose ng type 1 diabetes or nagka-breast CA less than 40 years old. During those time na after na ng policy mo nangyari, it can actually impact kapag ka lumipat ka to a new insurer.
Mhm.
So the ideal way na ginagawa ng advisor is kung nire-review ko yung policy mo, attorney, of
Mhm.
course titingnan ko kung anong meron ka, and it also depends on whether yung kaharap mong advisor is someone na representing an insurance company or someone na parang broker. Okay,
Mhm.
so kami is we were broker. We don't work for any insurers. So kung ako I represent one insurance company, it's so important to let you know na, attorney, yung alam ko lang is yung company na to. So I don't know much about your company. Para lang klaro.
Mhm.
But trabaho ko pa rin, regardless whether I'm an aligned advisor, independent advisor, trabaho ko talaga na basahin yung policy mo so that I can make recommendation na is it safe pa ba sa yung lumipat. So I've got a client about 2 days ago. I'll keep everything private, but I'll give the symptoms. So um, meron siyang pain sa jaw. Okay? And then after a couple of weeks, medyo nawawala na yung boses.
Mhm.
So nirefer siya sa ENT specialist. So eye, nose, throat specialist. So on that occasion, I told him na even though nasa bank yung insurance mo, it's not safe for us to really do anything for your cover right now. We can add medical cover na wala ka, but kung anong meron ka ngayon sa bangko, hindi siya dapat palitan, hindi siya dapat galawin until na-clear up ka ng ENT kung ano talaga yung sintomas mo. So yun
Mhm.
yung trabaho ng advisor. It's not just about, attorney, eto, maganda yung company namin, number one kami, magbayad talaga kami, pinakamaganda kami.
Mhm.
That's not the job of the advisor. The job of the advisor, lalo na kapag ka may insurance ka na, is to really sit down with you and go through the covers. And kung i-recommend ko man na, well, sasabihin ko sa'yo, attorney, kung lilipat ka sa akin, ito yung mga benefits na nawala sa'yo, but ito yung mga benefits na nakuha mo.
Mhm.
And dapat hindi verbaling sinabi, dapat nakasulat siya.
Mhm.
Naka-prepare siya. Kasi yung new legislation na mangyayari from next month, we are now obliged talaga na we document everything. Hindi pwedeng verbal lang.
Mhm.
So, yun yung crucial na kapag lumilipat po tayo ng insurance, just be mindful. And I think karamihan kasi sa atin takot mag-ask ng questions. Huwag po kayong matakot kasi the last thing we want is hindi kayo mabayaran ng claim time. And we've had
Mhm.
so many stories about Filipinos na hindi nabayaran ng claim time, which we will touch on after this. But yan, cover nyo na yan, binayaran nyo yan. There's nothing wrong po sa magpapa-review, but make sure na anumang sinabi ng advisor nyo, ipasulat ninyo
Mhm.
para everything is in the writing. Para kapag nag-claim kayo at hindi kayo binayaran, at least you've got that document na actually, ito yung sinabi ni ganito, in my opinion, I should get paid. That's
Okay.
also the other thing, attorney. I think we've had so many kababayans na hindi nabayaran sa insurance claims, and then they've thrown their towel kaagad na okay, sige, parang they accepted it kaagad na okay, sige, hindi ako nabayaran.
Mm.
There's a process po na you can actually challenge yung decision.
Mm.
I've done that even myself for my clients. I've challenged multiple decisions, and eventually nabaliktad naman. But just remember, just because sinabi ng insurance sa inyo na sorry, hindi to claim, you have to ask bakit.
Mm.
Bakit? Ano ba yung wordings? And so kailangan ipaliwanag ng insurer or advisor bakit hindi ka nabayaran. Hindi pwedeng sabihin lang na ay hindi yan bayad.
Mm.
Okay? So yeah, so with the new
Bobby, tama ba yung mindset ng mga, I mean, I don't know, narinig ko lang ito na, yung mindset ng insurance company, ang objective is not to pay or reduce the payout. Parang ganun ba ang mentality in a way? Kaya medyo, kumbaga, yung burden na sa'yo sa claimant na i-prove mo na covered ka, parang ganun. Masabi bang ganun yun?
hindi naman ganun yung mindset talaga. I guess at the end of the day, it comes down to business. Kasi if you look at the banks and how they create their benefits and the wordings ng banks, if you read it and you have a medical background, personally you would say na parang unethical naman to, yung hinihingi nila. But legally, it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
So parang hindi pwedeng sabihin na they don't want to pay, but the way they've created their business is talagang less likely ka lang talagang makapag-claim. Kasi medyo mas severe lang yung hinihingi nila. Mas
Okay.
malala lang yung hinihingi nila. And then you're going to top insurers ngayon. There's a couple of top insurers ngayon na they actually find a way to pay you. I've had it so many times, and meron akong isa na namatay, I think last year. There was a huge non-disclosure. But we fought for it. But I was being honest with the client na sinabi ko talaga, we have less than 1% chance na mabayaran nito kasi masyadong malaki yung non-disclosure. But I'm so glad na we still tried kasi it actually turned out na nabayaran.
That's good.
Yeah. So you gotta need to do everything before you give up on the decision sa claims.
Okay, now speaking of, nade-decline yung mga claims, ano ba yung mga ways or ano ba yung mga common reasons sa bakit nade-decline yung mga claims sa
Sige.
insurance, Bobby?
Based sa Australian statistics back in 2018, they've made a big tawag dito parang survey in terms of gaano ba kadami ang hindi nababayaran. And this is mostly with the banks. Close to 70% ng mga may insurance sa banks ang hindi nababayaran. And that's a really alarming number. Ano bang most common? Most common talaga, non-disclosure. So, ibig sabihin, hindi nyo po sinabi sa insurance company na nagkaroon pala kayo ng simptomas na to dati. That's called non-disclosure. There's two types of non-disclosure. Ang una, of course, is intentional na hindi mo sinabi. Okay, so let's say may cancer ka na pala dati and hindi mo sinabi. Okay, that's a very intentional na non-disclosure. Unintentional non-disclosure naman is let's say 20 years ago, urinary tract infection ka, nagka-UTI. Okay? Or maybe 20 years ago, napasok ka sa hospital kasi nagka-dengue fever ka. So that's unintentional, and those minor things na nakakalimutan, for most occasions, it's okay naman siya. Medyo magiging problema lang siya if yung nakalimutan mong sabihin is actually directly related sa kiniklaim mo.
Okay.
Okay, so the biggest talaga na problema na hindi nababayaran is because hindi niyo po sinabi sa kanila yung mga dapat yung sinabi, and sometimes you can actually say na hindi ko naman kasalanan, which is kind of true in a way, pero kapag ka sa bangko and online kasi kayo kumukuha ng insurance ninyo, you have to understand na there's no guidance. Yung kausap niyo po sa bangko, hindi po sila advisor. Okay?
Mm.
Iba po kasi yung licensing ng bangko. They're licensed as a whole. Okay?
Mm.
So, yung mga questions po na I guess sometimes siguro hindi natin naiintindihan and nititik lang natin na no. And I've seen manual workers nag-apply sa BNZ, scaffolders. May question doon na, do you work more than 10 meters heights? And nakalagay pa rin no.
Mm.
So sometimes I guess kung hindi nyo po naiintindihan yung questions, you can always request, I guess, a Filipino interpreter. But ang ano ba, ganito na lang, ano ba ang dapat yung sabihin sa insurance company? Ano ba mga simptomas?
Mm.
Lahat po simula ng pinanganak kayo, except po sa ubo, sipon, contraception, and vaccination.
Mm.
So outside lahat niyan, kailangan sabihin. So
Mm.
lagnat, colds, flu, viral infection, that's okay. Anything outside that, kailangan po talagang sabihin. Asthma, pagkabata.
Mm.
Okay?
Ngayon, Bobby, covered ba ang COVID? Kung nagka-COVID ka,
No one
covered.
expected COVID kasi eh. So,
Malamang wala yan sa yung mga listahan, di ba?
wala.
So,
Wala.
so ano ang posisyon ng insurance diyan sa COVID?
So, technically, because COVID was unexpected, covered talaga siya. So, give you an example. So, let's say nagka-COVID positive ka, and let's say hindi kinaya ng immune system mo at napasok ka sa ICU for let's say 7 days,
Mm.
that's already a payout ng trauma cover sa mga top insurers. Okay,
Okay.
bayad na yan.
Mm.
Okay, so wala namang exclusion. Yung mga kukuha pa lang ng insurance, sila yung may mga exclusions sa COVID-19, but it's not really based on what I see pa lang so far sa different insurers.
Mm.
Hindi siya mabigat. It's more of nawalan ka ng trabaho because of COVID. There's nothing about hindi ka namin babayaran because of COVID. But I've just remembered one company na nag-email kaninang umaga na kapag during COVID pa at nag-travel ka outside New Zealand at doon ka tinamaan ng COVID at saka yung namatay or whatever happened to you, may exclusion na siya sa traveling ngayon.
Okay.
Oo.
Okay. Siguro, nasa topic naman tayo ng mga decline ng claims, sabi. I know this might be an unfair question, pero I think it's also a time to defend yourself or on behalf of other brokers din.
Sige.
Do you think na kapag ba na-decline ang claim, the broker or the financial advisor is partly to blame? Ano sa tingin mo sa ganung tanong?
Yung trabaho namin kasi is not just assessing yung needs ng mga clients. Trabaho din namin i-go through yung application. So, during application time, it's crucial na nakaharap yung client sa application form, binabasa niya yung question at naiintindihan niya yung question. Yun yung trabaho namin. I guess, for me, because of my medical background, mas madami pa akong tinatanong on top pa sa tinatanong ng insurer kasi gusto ko lang manigurado. Pero unless minadali ng advisor at nag-shortcut yung advisor, I don't think na they are to blame kasi the non-disclosures nanggagaling naman talaga sa client. However, kapag sinabi may nangyari kasing ganito eh.
Kasi, I mean, kaya ko naman natanong yung Bobby kasi alam ko kasi pag na-decline yung claim, ang unang bine-blame kayo, yung nag-take out ng insurance, diba?
Yeah.
So, gusto ko lang maintindihan yung from your point of view para din, alam din ng mga tao yung mga clients nyo, where you're coming from or Ano yung mga
So
obligations sa
there's
inyo?
two things na i-mention ko. Number one, this was something happened I think 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
Hindi namin client pero sinabi daw niya sa advisor niya na meron siyang fibroids. So ito yung sa matres ng babae.
Mm.
So meron siyang fibroids at saka sinabi ng advisor na okay lang yan. Hindi na kailangan sabihin yan. That's to blame the advisor talaga. The only problem
Mm.
dyan is verbal lahat eh.
Mm.
The application verbal lahat. So the advisor kana get away from that kasi nga lahat verbal dyan. But yun yung problema kapag sinabi niya na may fibroid siya or, dati, 30 years ago, nagka-cancer ako at sinabi ng advisor, okay lang yan. Then
Mm.
that's wrong.
Mm.
That's wrong talaga. You're
Mm.
putting the client at risk talaga. But the second thing I want to mention to attorney
Sorry
about
na put into spot ka pero kasi I mean
okay lang, okay lang.
pero I mean of course
Oo,
it's a way then to get your
oo,
side on your opinion on alam
oo,
ko madalas na nangyayari yun eh pag na-decline yung claim sinisisi kayo, di ba?
oo. The second thing na very important na I want to discuss about hindi nababayaran sa claim is ganito. May mindset po kasi yung some of us Filipinos dito na kukuha ako ng life insurance pero I'm expecting na kapag nag-trauma ako or hindi ako makapag-work or kailangan ko ng operation, na yung life insurance ko ang magbabayad. So,
Mhm.
parang general ng iba na, sige, kumuha ko ng life insurance which is magbabayad kung namatay. But then, kapag ka na-hospital sila at gusto nila magpa-opera kaagad, um, in a way, bine-blame din yung advisor na, akala ko ba yung life insurance na ito magbabayad lahat?
Mm.
So yung generalization na, okay, life insurance lang yung kukunin ko, but then pag claim time, nakakalimutan na hindi pala naman nila kinuha yung mga benefits na sana nagbayad sa kanila kung kinuha nila.
Okay. Sige. So, medyo ano yun eh. Sorry sa kung if I put you in
Okay,
the spot
that was a
pero
very good question
oo.
kasi totoo yan.
Mm.
Kaya in a way, parang iniisip ko nga na what if lahat ng advisors may medical background? Would it really bring down the non-disclosure rate during claim time?
Mm.
Kasi mas naiintindihan eh. Like,
Mm.
you ask further questions, kumbaga, like ako, tinatanong ko na kapag alam ko nanganak na sila before, tinatanong ko talaga, na-diagnose ka ba ng gestational diabetes?
Mm.
And
And
that's not,
that's your advantage kasi you understand and you're a medical professional, di ba? So,
it's an extra thing na
oo.
minsan nakaka-pick up din naman na nakakalimutan, ay tama pala Bobby, tumaas pala siya.
Mm.
But
Mm.
it impacts a lot sa
Mm.
decision ng insurer.
Okay, sige.
Oo.
Now, sige, for our closing remarks, Bobby, I think siguro I just of course this program sa ating Usapang Batas is in a way not only to promote Filipino businesses or
Mm.
professionals but also siguro to inspire other people din, 'di ba? So, what can you say to those people na who are planning or thinking of entering into insurance or becoming a financial advisor, especially mga kababayan natin sa mga Filipinos?
Sige. So, due to COVID-19, I know a lot of Filipinos have been affected, but in a way, I hope na this also kind of like serves as a reminder ba na start looking for other things to do. And there are many things naman na pwede niyong gawin
Mm.
uh, to work from home. Insurance is one of those profession where you can work from home kung gugustuhin ninyo. Sa totoo lang, masyadong marami yung population natin sa New Zealand. I think 70 to 80,000 na tayong Filipinos. And very few lang yung talagang advisors natin in our market. Even with the mortgage, I mean, you can see Kuya Rex Yap, New Zealand Home Loans, and yung dati kay Patrick Pardo, and I think there's another one. But other than that, halos wala ka nang makita sa mortgage sa Filipino eh. And Filipino would love to deal with Filipinos. Ganun tayo eh. So, I'm encouraging na look at ways on how you get to the mortgage broking na business. Join a company so that mapasok ka sa umbrella nila, they can mentor you. And same thing with insurance. Um, there's a lot of need talaga, and there's a lot of opportunity, especially with migrants continuously coming here. Um, yeah, masyadong malaki yung opportunity. Like even me sometimes, umaabot ako ng 15 inquiries in a day. Hindi ko kaya lahat. Hindi ko kaya lahat sagutin. So, if you're into or may background ka insurance before or wala kang background in insurance dito, it doesn't matter. I guess if you want change, then you can start talking to different businesses. Kay Kuya Rex Alfaraz, kay Kuya Rex Yap, sa amin. I know there are others pa, and see whether they're happy to mentor you, help you with the licensing, and then get you on board. Pero I just want you to understand na yung trabaho ng advisor is long term. Hindi po natatapos yung trabaho natin just because naging okay na yung policy. Ang trabaho ng advisor nagsisimula pa lang once na issue na yung policy. And that's the reality of our profession. But yeah, there's a huge opportunity. Even for lawyers, ang daming opportunity kasi konting-konti lang yung Filipino lawyers, and we need more. We need more. Oh. But thank you so much, Attorney Ha.
Yeah.
It's really good to be able to share some information na may help our kababayans talaga. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby. I mean, di ko na-realize meron pala tayong mga questions eh. I just
Okay, sige. Let's
open
go.
it up. So, I know this should be like before the closing remarks, but let's try to answer the questions.
Sige.
Bobby from Kai Pelago. Hi, Jean. Ano ang mas maganda na insurance company as your own perception? I think para sa yung question na yun. What can you promote companies, Bobby? Ano ba yung what can you say about insurance companies? How would you differentiate them?
There's no such thing as parang one option for everybody. For each insurance companies po, different po yung guidelines. So I'll give you an example. If you're a scaffolder and you don't want to pay extra, there's one insurance company na hindi ka i-charge ng more, but ika-cover ka pa rin kapag ka nahulog ka at namatay. So I guess there's always yung mga superior insurers and there are inferior na insurers, and between these superior na insurers, it's a matter of an advisor assessing you. Once na-assess ka na po, we recommend kung saan ka po mas suitable. Kasi let's say may breast cancer yung nanay mo at age 39. If I take you to the number one insurer ngayon based on research, medyo malaki po yung patong ninyo. So for that instance, I have to take you to insurance number 2.
Okay.
Para mas mababa yung premium ninyo.
So depende talaga sa needs and circumstances.
Kailangan ng full assessment.
Full assessment.
So kapag ka tinanong kayo na sinong best insurance, walang answer sa best insurance kasi per individual po siya. So you're gonna need to get assessed para makapag-recommend po kami.
Okay. Okay, Bobby. Question from Jen De Leon. Hello po. Ask ko lang po kung ano ang magandang insurer. May life and insure. I mean, na-discuss mo yun. Ito na lang. From Jen De Leon. Pwede daw bang i-review ang disclosure again kasi at that time online lang siya yung sinagutan?
Yes, the answer is yes. And if you could do that, that would be really great. I've just had one client na 4 years ago na to na client, then nagdagdag kami ng life cover, and sa second application, doon pa niya na-remember ang yung multiple medical conditions. So ang ginawa lang ng insurer is parang nag-assess sila ulit 4 years ago. Now, what if sinabi niya to 4 years ago, ano kaya magiging terms natin? and then i-apply lang nila whether it's an exclusion or whether okay lang yan, i-waive lang natin yan. Hindi naman masyadong mabigat. But the most important thing, and I'm glad na nag-mention ka po nito, kasi kapag may nakalimutan ka, sabihin nyo sa insurer. Okay? Pero po, clarify ko lang, kapag ka nag-start na yung insurance ninyo, lahat po ng symptoms after na mangyari yung, lahat ng symptoms na mangyari sa inyo after the policy has started, covered po yan. You don't have to tell the insurer. Yung mga nakalimutan nyo lang.
Okay. Nako, Bobby, hinihingi na yung contact details mo. Siguro, what I'll do is, I'll post it sa Facebook, yung on top ng video natin, so they can,
Okay.
I'll put your email and then your, okay lang ba ilagay ko yung
Sige,
mobile number
sige.
mo doon, Bobby?
Oo.
So, okay.
Pagka nag-message po kayo and hindi ko kayo masagot within 24 to 48 hours, it just means po baka puno po yung inbox ko. And sometimes I need some help with my colleagues na si Ulrike and Richard to help me out with that. Pero no worries po. Any questions, wala namang problema. At saka, one last thing pala, attorney. Most people think may bayad, kaya ayaw nila. Wala pong bayad ang mga advisors. Libre lang. Okay, libre lang.
Okay. So, I think yun lang na may mga questions, Bobby. And again, thank you for saying yes to be interviewed live dito sa ating Usapang Batas. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. And even pag nag-usap tayo, and even now, I learned so much about insurance kasi ako rin, although I do not know everything about insurance, but it's glad and nice to hear those topics and answers to my questions. Ako, actually, mga tanong ko sa iyo ngayon is actually the questions that I have in mind na gusto ko rin magkaroon ng sagot, di ba?
Yeah. So maraming salamat din, attorney.
Okay.
It's been really good to share the information.
Okay. So, yun lang po mga kababayan. So, again, maraming salamat, Bobby, and hopefully maraming natutunan ating mga kababayan dito sa New Zealand about insurance kasi maraming tanong at maraming arguments about it. So, again, magandang gabi po at take care po to everyone. Okay.